let's see. Are we live? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. If anyone who is in the Twitch audience, okay, it looks like everyone probably didn't, they left really quick because they probably were like, is this going to happen? So we'll give it a couple seconds, but we should be streaming live. And one of my students or somebody will tell me if they can see me or whatever is going on with this crazy thing. Okay, Jade is just made a comment on Facebook. Let's see what he says here. Tona Brown, but I don't know. Okay, he was commenting on something else. Okay. Yep, it seems like support the stream. It seems like we're live on Facebook.
All right.
Okay, so let me put this camera back on really quick. So I can see myself here on OBS. I don't know if, can you guys see the Devo? Okay, we got one person just came in. We're going to give people a couple of minutes. Welcome everyone to Conversations with Tona Brown. We are having some technical issues trying to figure out what's going on with my camera so that he can see me on Zoom. So if anyone can see me, you guys let me know if you can see me and if you can see him. Please let me know that. But anyway, what I want to say is I am so pleased to have Adrian Alizea on the show. He is a great friend of mine, an inspiration to so many of us. He's worked with the very, very, very best. And I find it hard to describe how amazing his art is when it comes down to his fashion. So I don't even have to, because there's a wonderful quote that I found that is great. Oh, here comes some people coming on now. Okay, it says, Adrian Alizea is a new romantic and romantic is a new romantic of romantic excesses, creating a pirate-like fairy tale of disguises. He walks a tightrope between ironic hedonistic inclination and highly serious commentary. There's an insane carcinogenic, merciless narcissism. There's a deafening, endless shout of "Give me more." And that was a quote by Earl Murray. I just feel like that just says everything about the way I feel about what you do with fashion and what you do with art. Thank you so much for joining the show. I'm so sorry you cannot see me, but I still want to take this opportunity to make sure that we could have this interview. Thank you so much, my brother Adrian, for being on the show. Welcome to Conversations with Tona Brown. How are you doing?
I'm good, Tona. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm just so grateful to, first of all, that we're great friends, and let's get this started because this is amazing. And I want to tell everybody who's joining, thank you. And there was some technical difficulties, like you said, but we got it together. But that quote that Earl Murray said about me and what he wrote about me, it's amazing because that's a great way of putting it. I remember him coming to my show in 2011. And I showed at Landmark on the Park. It's a cathedral in Central Park West. And there he was, and he came up to me, and he just started talking to me about it. And before you know it, I read it on his blog, and I had to put it as part of my bio because it was amazing.
Oh my goodness! When I tell you, when I read it, it just really, when you see your art, you're speechless because of the creativity, the imagination that has to go with what you create. What inspires you? What inspires you to come up with these crazy couture fashions? I just love them.
Well, there's many windows of inspiration for me. Like, number one, like I just got to thank all my wonderful sisters and my mom and my dad and my brothers. But my mom, I was raised with a lot of girls, so 9 sisters, and so I think coming from mom, my mom used to sew for my sisters. She used to make clothes for them, and that really, I guess, impacts me. And watching my sisters, like in the '70s, I was a little boy, and I remember them dressed up with these beautiful uniforms and that whole Farrah Fawcett kind of hairstyle, like Charlie's Angels. I'll never forget that. That's one of the things. And uh, also, I remember my mom used to wear a lot of pink and red together.
Okay.
And I always would ask her, and then some of us would say, Mom, those two colors, but if you think most people wouldn't do that, they just put red and red or red and white. But pink and red was special. So I got to thank, my mama Carmen, who is in heaven, and also my dad, my father, Bobby, I miss you. He was a very distinguished gentleman. Always who I remember like beige or brown pants and a collar shirt. And I think that it comes from family first. And then definitely from traveling. I've traveled to so many countries. I've been so blessed to just experience different cultures and meeting
Mhm.
great people. And I think that was another experience of another window of inspiration. I love epic movies. I love period movies. I watch a lot of movies and documentaries and travel. I think travel really helps a lot because then
Mhm.
you get to see other parts of the world and cultures and how they're dressed. But coming from the Bronx, I grew up in the Bronx, and bringing those gritty streets of the Bronx and mixing it with the high fashion.
Mhm.
I've always had a taste for luxury. I love luxury. So, but then I love the hood side. I'm from the hood.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
little
so it's
bit of
like a
everything. And I tell when I go to your shows and when I look at the things that you make, you can tell just how diverse you are with your upbringing and your interests. You can just see all of those things with what you create. What was it like for you to walk for, Mugler? What was that like?
it feels, I could almost see it as yesterday, honestly. It was honestly like what, 32 years ago. So it was just an amazing experience to walk with Terry because I remember my sister was with me at the tunnel when it happened, and I was very shy to dance for him because there were so many professional dancers. But I knew I had it, but I was like, let him go. And then when I had to dance for him. It was a dance audition. It was a modeling audition. It was a
Okay.
dance audition, and I would never forget that because it was Ray Dawn Chung who approached me and she said, with my friend Terry, I'm watching you, and we're here, so you got to dance. And I did my thing, and not even I remember maybe in 1 minute of dancing, they stopped me and said, "Want to go to Paris?" So that alone was just beautiful to just have that opportunity. Because as kids, we would hang out in the tunnel and all these major clubs in New York City, and just being around fashion in New York and in the '80s was is the epic and the epic moments, and it's the
Absolutely.
mecca of fashion. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like New York City. We travel. I travel to many countries, but New York City, especially in the '80s, I mean, come on, you can't beat that. It was so free and so like just everybody could dress like you want to, and there was no judgment. So it was really beautiful. So being
Absolutely.
able to to go to Paris to model for him, it was a dream. It was amazing. 5 shows for him, and I think one day we did 5 consistent shows, and to have my first runway partner, which Iman and Willie Ninja. Who could beat that, right?
Yeah, I was gonna. You beat me to it. I was gonna ask, what was that like to work with Willie Ninja and Grace Jones, and you just work with so many epic people
Yeah,
within not
yeah.
only just within the LGBTQ community, but just in fashion in general. And that's what I love about your career, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted you on the show. I feel that more people need to know just how long you've been doing this and just how your pedigree this is something that you've been doing your entire life, and I think that we all need to pay homage to those who really go after their craft, who as we were talking about with some of my other guests, who go against all odds. People are always telling us that we can't do something, and one of the reasons why I adore you so much is because I feel that so many of you who have been integral in my career in any way, which I would
Yeah.
made sure that people could see on Facebook when I wore your amazing cape, that
Oh, yeah.
literally
About
at
that.
Carnegie Hall made
Yeah.
everyone gasp for air. When
Yeah.
I walked out, the whole crowd went,
Yes. Yeah. I would never forget that. I didn't get to make it, but I was just so grateful to have dressed you and dripped you in my fashion and my
yeah,
beautiful couture, and you performing at Carnegie Hall. And your career has been so wonderful, and your talent. I mean, come on. And again, we go back to the LGBTQ
Yeah.
XYZ.
Right.
Come on, like we're here for it. It's like you have to be here for it all. And I've been that person who opened doors for not only the LGBT, but even models who have been rejected,
Yeah.
from kids to plus size to any size. Like I've welcomed many people, even with disabilities, to be a part of the Adrian Alicea team and the
That's
whole
amazing.
clan. Like, yeah, you bring in people. I've always had a kind heart and a potty mouth, I'm going to say, but I know how to control it. But it,
Well, you
yeah,
just like to keep it real, and that's one thing I try to
that's
tell
true.
people. I have the most amazing friends, and this is why I wanted to start this show again. I took a break for a number of years just because it got to a point where after Carnegie Hall and so many different things, I needed to take some time for me. And
Absolutely.
but my friends have always been there and understood. And what I want to do now is point people in the direction of so many fantastic people that I know, that I've met, who I've had the pleasure to work with, like yourself, or been able to wear the garments. And people see an artist and think that we come up with that stuff. We don't.
Right.
We need
You
people
know,
like you. And if we don't uplift and support people like you,
and
um,
it, yeah, because it becomes it's a team. Like without you playing a beautiful violin, you do what you do. Come on, it's just genius. And if we wouldn't have people like you wearing it, we need artists. We're all artists.
right.
That's what it is. They're people that are in the arts. Like there's so many ways of just artistry that just really go together. Because
Yeah.
who am I going to make this fashion? So I'm glad you can wear it because I'm always making and creating pieces. And like somebody always comes and they want to try something on and either purchase or rent it, whatever it is, or a gift. There's so many different ways of going through it, but it's just beautiful to have people like yourself enjoy it and wear it, and it fits amazing, and it's a blessing and it's a gift because, as you know, I didn't go to formal school as far as being a designer. I just happened to have this. It just came as a gift. It fell on my lap, and I
Right.
received it.
And tell us about that because a lot of the things I looked at when I did my research on you, you were just this phenomenal dancer. And I really appreciate dance because I started off in dance myself, doing a lot of ballet, tap, and jazz growing up. My family was full of dancers. Everyone thought that I was going to be a professional dancer, all of those things. So I really appreciate that art form. So, how did you go from being this phenomenal dancer, very accomplished, touring around the world, meeting so many celebrities? How did
Yeah,
that happen?
the dancing since I was a kid. I remember just dancing. I guess around the house. But then, as we got into our teenage years, I guess it was me and my little sister were the last ones in the house, so we would escape and go downtown and hang out with a bunch of friends and to just go to these clubs. So we would all get in the clubs for free
Hmm.
because we were the dancers of the clubs. We would just dance like a voguing, and we were the ones doing it. So every club we went to, we didn't have to pay a penny. We skipped the line. So I guess that came from there. And being around so many professionals from Alvin Ailey and the top schools of the world, we were around them people. But as far as myself, I didn't take any class. I would probably practice in my room watching the Nutcracker.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I would practice ballet and working on my point, and I had no idea what was a turnout or what was a développé or jeté, any of the
Hmm.
technical terms of ballet. But I grew up in the Bronx doing electric boogie, a little break dancing and
Hmm.
all.
Yeah.
It started there, and then the background was salsa in the house with the whole Latino, beautiful culture of Puerto Rico. And so it's in the blood, and you mix it all together, and I guess you know that's where it came from. So the dancing comes from the background, of course.
That's
We're
right.
island people; we love to dance and music, so that came from the heart, and then being recognized by someone amazing that also has an amazing talent and gift, and treating you equal, that was amazing. And I worked with so many great people, but I've always thanked Terry because he was the first one that said, "Come on!" And then after that, that's when I met Malcolm McLaren through Willie Ninja, and then we
Wow.
did Deep Road. Yes,
Just incredible. And one thing that they cannot take away from us is that rhythm. You know, y'all know what I'm talking about. One thing you cannot take away from us, people of color, is that
Yeah.
rhythm. And even when I play Bach, I hear rhythm. And when people say, well, how do you come up with some of these different ways that you play things? It's because I hear the rhythm, I hear the harmonies that really jump out to me. And when I see your work, and I see the work of so many phenomenal people that I met that was right there in New York during that time I was really trying to get things going. And you guys were so gracious with your time and your energy and your creativity and your products and all those type of things, and I'll never ever forget that. And this is my way of definitely letting all of you know how appreciative I am for that. So the other question that I had was, how did you get the opportunity to perform on the oh no, to be on the cover of Italian Vogue? Like when I saw that, I literally screamed. I was like, oh my
That was a period of time when I was with my partner Nico. The brand was called Nico and Adrian
God. Okay.
first, and Nico and I would do these club shows with the whole Patricia Fields gang down in the village and
Wow.
doing club shows, and we would just put these shows together, and these models would come in and just beautiful, amazing models that they would just walk for us, and even Amanda Lepore walked for us, and I remember we hog tied
Wow.
her, we wrapped her up in some red fabric or red, just was amazing. So that those times were amazing. So it started there because he was the first one that said, "Come on!" Then after that, and that's when I met. We were just doing like Club Kid Land type of
Wow.
clothing. It was just for the clubs and just very
Just incredible.
risque, very daring, and super unorthodox. I mean,
Hmm.
we would just do what we wanted to do. So it started there, and then I had a friend named Jason Ferran, JJ, and he called me and he said, "I'm working with Linda, with Stephen Maisel and Linda Evangelista, and it was me and Nico." And he said, "I need a something sport. We're going for sport." And that was the concept. So we worked on a helmet and we worked on a bra. We both studded. And instead of using spikes, we used anchors. They were cement anchors.
Hmm.
So we put the anchors with the helmet and the breast and helmet. And I remember it came out with September issue in 2002.